Hi, I'm Tim Cain, entertainment editor at the Herald and Review in Decatur, Illinois, and I'm here because Austin wants. Elvis Costello has been one of my favorite performers all time, ever. From the second I heard him, and the first time I heard him was when he did Saturday Night Live, and he stopped playing one song and started playing another, and it was just spectacular. And I loved that song so much, and imagine my surprise when it wasn't on his album. It was a song that had only been a single in Britain. Eventually came out on an album here, but and my love for his early work, particularly the stuff that he did in the late '70s and early '80s, has always remained very high. It's top-notch work. But since then, it's been really up and down, and very few peaks, a lot of valleys, not as many plateaus as one would like. And I think it's because the things that I loved about what Elvis Costello did early on in his career, he got much more mannered about. I love the fact that he would go and do a country album, but he would do a country album the way only British kids who grew up in the 60s and 70s would do. Loud, raucous, a little out of control, really tweaking the nose of like the Nashville establishment and what the expectations would be. Now the expectation would be, if you're going to go do a country album in Nashville and you're a popular performer, you go all out. You go with all the accoutrement of what's traditional about Nashville music, and you would have that on your album. Well, Elvis Costello didn't go that route. But eventually he got to the point where he would go that route. He would get very mannered with everything that he did. And to me, that took away an amount of soul and personality that the work had. So that's why I found it really interesting that he's got a new album called Wise Up Ghost that he recorded with The Roots, did some writing with Questlove, who apparently deeply appreciates Costello's back catalog and his deep cuts, to the point where Questlove was willing to take really old Costello songs and rework them and juggle them up and kind of shake up Costello's own expectations and beliefs in what the songs were. Kind of like what Bob Dylan seems to do on a regular basis. You just take those arrangements and you juggle them up a little bit, and not only are you forcing yourself as a performer to go ahead and say, I'm going to approach this in a different way because I have to now. I'm not the same person I was when I was singing that song 20 years ago, but it also shakes up your audience's expectations. These songs continue to be then living, breathing works of art instead of museum pieces that you're trotting out and treating with that ultimate respect. You know, this music part always has to be here. This instrument always has to be a part of it. It always has to be this tempo. Elvis Costello doesn't seem to believe any of that, at least at this point, particularly with what he's done with Wise Up Ghost. So he's taken 2 or 3 of his own old songs and they've reworked them and changed them in a way, and I've used this comparison elsewhere, Elvis Costello has done with specific songs in his back catalog that had to deal with specific instances that were happening in the 80s. He's revised them and updated them so that they're relevant to us now, which to me is as incredible an accomplishment as Roger Waters taking The Wall and pulling that away from being a whiny sob story about Roger Waters' father dying and how tough it was for Roger Waters to be a rock star, and then made it a universal story that could be about all of us. That's an amazing skill. It wouldn't matter if Elvis Costello was doing that if he wasn't also doing it in a way that makes the music intensely interesting. He's singing in his old voice, very entertaining, very engaging. The songs aren't all at a dreaded mid-tempo. He's not slowing things down so we understand the importance of the sad, sad lyrics that he's singing. It's just like it's just like it was very much in the early days for him. He's got a nasty thought, he's going to let you know what it is, and he's going to sing it directly. One of my favorite Elvis Costello album covers is the one from this year's model. And it's not the one where he's behind the camera, where it looks like he's singing into the camera. I like the one where he's standing there by the camera and he's got the trigger in his hand because he's taking a picture of you and he knows exactly what he's looking at. And to me, when Elvis Costello is at his best, that's what he's doing. And that's what's happening on Wise Up Ghost, and that's why I think it's his best album in 25 years. And if it's not the album of the year, it's definitely in the conversation. I'm Tim Cain, and I'm here because Austin wants.